Good morning everyone. The aim of this video is to give you a very brief overview of AQA English Language Paper 1 Question 3. Paper 1 is a 1 hour and 45-minute exam paper. It's out of 80 marks, and you're given one fiction source to read, with 5 questions to complete. Now the best order to complete this paper in is in this order. Question 5 first, then questions 1, 4, 2, and finally 3. Now the reason for this is that you get all of the big mark questions and the easy question out of the way first. That way you've got 80% of the paper completed in the first 3 questions that you answer. Now a question 3 looks something like this. It directs you to a certain part of the text. Question 3 is usually focused on the entire text. The question asks you to explore the writer's use of structural techniques or structural devices for a certain purpose. So in this example, it's asking you how the writer has used structural devices to interest you as a reader. Now it's worth 8 marks, which is 10% of the whole exam paper. So I'd recommend that you spend 3 minutes preparing and planning this answer, and as students usually find this a little bit more difficult than question 2, spend 10 minutes writing the response. Aim to write 2 paragraphs in this time. So in order to get the marks, you need to 1. Use accurate subject terminology. So if it's a sentence, say it's a sentence. If it's anaphora, say so in your answer. For higher marks, you need to use what's called sophisticated subject terminology. So as an example, you would say it's a minor sentence, rather than just calling it a sentence. 2. You need to use a range of quotations from the given lines. Go with a minimum of 2 quotations per paragraph. As these are structural features, references to the text are accepted instead of quotations as well. And the third thing is that you need to explore and analyse the effect of the structural device that you're highlighting. So this could be looking at reasons why a particular device might have been used, or just exploring what effect that particular device has on the reader. How does it affect your understanding of the text? How does it interest you as a reader? Please keep in mind that on question 3, it has to be about structural features, not language features. So there's no marks available for discussing personification or metaphors or other language techniques. It's all got to be structural. So this is how I'd recommend structuring your answer. Same as question 2, use fear. Fear stands for focus, evidence, analyze, and reader. Now what this means is that you focus your response on the question, mentioning the subject terminology used by the writer. For example, in order to interest the reader in this extract, the writer uses minor sentences to create tension in the opening paragraph. For evidence, state the quotation, or direct the examiner to the evidence. Bonus points if you can embed this into your sentence. Next, you analyse the use of the structural feature. This is where you explain how it links to the question. In the example that I just used, I would explain how the minor sentences in the opening paragraph create tension, and then I would explain how this interests the reader. Here, you can dive into multiple interpretations of why a certain device has been used. And then, finally, the reader. How does the use of this device affect or change your understanding of the text? How does it interest the reader? And seriously, you should never write, "It makes the reader want to read on." So these are some pretty generic sentence starters that you could use to get you going. And that's about it for question 3, and that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and happy revising.